Hello, everyone. Welcome to Teens in Action Forum. My name is Winifred Okafor, and I'll be hosting today's session. I'm thrilled to have all of you here with us, and we would be exploring some exciting topics and ideas in technology, AI, and innovation. But before we go into today's topic, we have an amazing opportunity for all of those who stay until the end of this call. So sit back, learn, and get your questions ready. Today's session would be on Beyond the Bots, building AI projects people actually need. So for those of us who may be new here, Teens in AI is a multi-award winning social impact initiative launched at the United Nations AI for Good Summit in 2018. So our mission is to empower the next generation of AI leaders and innovators. Over the years, we have reached over 35,000 plus young people across 100 countries worldwide, making a global impact. About today's session, you would have a chance to discover how to look past generic chat box hype and figure out what kind of AI tools people actually want and need. And would also be exploring the secret of human-centered design and learn how to turn cool AI abilities into real-world problem solvers. We would also discuss the future of tech innovations and how to build useful tools that would have a massive edge on the crowded AI world. So today is very packed. Today is going to be beautiful. We're going to be learning a lot. So make sure you listen and get your questions ready. Our speaker, wow, I'm delighted to introduce our speaker for today, Calypso Rose, who is the co-founder of Offscript. I'm always really super excited to, when I get to listen to great minds like Calypso because I get to learn a lot as well. Calypso Rose is an entrepreneur and founder who has built creative businesses, including Clippy Kit and Offscript. She's passionate about helping young people understand the future of work, entrepreneurship, and non-leading careers. And outside work, she loves cold water swimming and meeting new people, storytelling, and finding everyday wonder. So let's give a warm welcome to Calypso Rose as we begin. Thank you, Calypso. Over to you.
Over to me. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming today. And where was everyone from? Did people say where they're calling in from? Anyone from London? I'm in London at the moment. I'm actually, hi, hello. Anyone from America? Got more people from the US?
So we have someone from Germany here.
Yeah.
South Africa.
Oh, well, thank you. Thanks for coming on board. I can see you waving your arms. Brilliant. So I'm actually, hopefully my internet's going to be okay. I'm actually in London, in Hackney, from my canal boat, which is kind of a bit weird, but there we go. It's the messy human, which is what I'm going to be talking about when it comes to building AI projects. So I better get started. Okay. So let me start off by saying I'm not an AI scientist. I have years of experience of building businesses and communities. And the challenge is not building clever ideas, but creating something that people really, really want and they trust and they use. And my career path has been completely non-linear. I had no idea what I wanted to do when I left school. And I've had all sorts of jobs, from working in TV to coffee shops to all sorts of things, to founding my first business, Clippy Kit, which was a handbag and accessories company. And I sold that after facing huge recession challenges, but I did it for 10 years. And then I didn't want any more stuff in my life. So I created the Inditute, which was experiences, a bit like Virgin Experiences or Red Letter Days, which was impacted by COVID, lost everything, built it all back up, and then sold it about a year ago. And then I just wanted more purpose in my life. And I always build things that I really, really, truly believe in and that I can really talk about and has my passion behind it. So now I'm building Offscript to help young people rethink their careers and help with their next steps. We do big live events with big name speakers, and workshops and talks. So my perspective on AI stems from practical experience in turning ideas into real solutions rather than technical expertise. But I've built lots of little AI projects along the way that people are actually using. The one I've got at the moment is called What's on Deal. And Deal is a little tiny seaside town in Kent. And there was no one-stop shop to see what was going on. It was just Facebook groups, Instagram to see what was happening in Deal. So I built a website, built on Lovable, where people can log on and they can see everything that's happening in Deal, and smaller businesses can list their events, or larger companies like the cinema and the theatre. Lovable scrapes those websites and creates it all in one place. And then it also has an email that goes every Wednesday to whoever signs up, which is automated with a rundown of what's happening that week. And it's only small, I don't promote it, but it gets maybe 150, 200 users a day. And someone sponsored me, the local estate agent sponsored the website. So it was a nice little project, and I learned a lot about the different tools. Anyway, so really it's about building products people actually need. Off-script is all about helping young people decide what they want to do next. So the obvious problem would be for someone to say, young people need career advice. But with off-script, the problem wasn't that. They already have endless information. The deeper problem was that a lot of young people are asked to make huge decisions about their future, while the world of work is changing so fast that everyone is feeling a bit lost, fear of AI, seeing all these news stories about job losses. They're feeling depressed and overwhelmed. And those are the feelings people are getting. So that's when you start to build products, it's about thinking about the human and the feelings. So if I was building an AI career tool for teenagers, I wouldn't start with, can we make a chatbot that gives career advice? I'd start with, what does the teenager actually feel when adults ask them what they want to do with their life? So, I mean, anyone there want to put in the chat, what do you feel when someone says, what are you going to do when you grow up? Do you all know? Are you all 100% sure? Or do you sometimes think, oh, I have no idea. I like doing what I'm doing now. Anyway, let me know if anyone in the chat, Winifred, gives me some answers, and we can come back to that. So we all know that AI can make something pretty quickly with the vibe coding, and it can slicker and it can look really impressive, but it doesn't automatically know what people really need. It might not know the social context. It might not know the awkwardness, the trust issues, the fear, the reason someone might not use it. And that's the human layer. And if you're building with AI, that human layer is your superpower. So to create a project that people actually need, you can look at trust. Would someone feel safe using this? Taste. Is it any good? Is it clear? Is it useful? Relationships. Who needs to be involved and not replaced? And then there's judgment. When should a human step in? And action. What does this help with? How does this tool help with someone's next steps? Okay. Something that I'm building at the moment, just as a little side project, is called the Hustle Club. And it's a live evening for people that are building something or starting something, creatives who are side hustling or just feeling a bit stuck about their next steps. And the format's super informal. There aren't any polished panels, no perfect founder stories, just real honest stories about the difficulties of trying to put something out into the world. And sometimes it's quite lonely. And so the group talks about, it's there to show that no one has it figured out. So someone shares what they're building, people talk honestly about what's hard, and then the room helps with ideas and feedback and contacts and next steps. So with the Hustle Club, the obvious question would, how do we create a really cool founders event? But that's not really the useful question. The useful question was, what does someone need when they're feeling a bit stuck or they need help with their next steps? So they might need confidence or feedback or a contact or, a room of people who are just going to listen to them. And so I think AI projects need the same shift. Don't start with what can the bot do? Start with what does this person need help doing next? And although the Hustle Club is a live evening on Lovable Again, because I find that super simple, I built a ticketing system, a brand, a guest check-in, and the tickets I got people to say what they were stuck on, and then I built a dashboard so I knew exactly who my audience was, and I kept it really super simple. So I could have gone to Eventbrite or somewhere like that, and that would have cost me money to do, and it would have given me all these tools and all these different things that I didn't really need. In the end, I just spent 2 hours on Lovable building the bare minimum of what I actually needed. So when you build something, especially with AI, it's really easy to get addicted to the clever bit, to the demo, to all the features, to the things that make people go, oh, wow, that is so cool. But wow is not the same as need. And the real test is whether someone would use it when no one's watching and when the tool isn't being facilitated, when you're not talking someone through the tool. You want them to want and need to come back to it. And we're so overwhelmed with websites and tools and apps. If you think about the number of apps you actually use on your phone, I think I probably only use about 3: WhatsApp, Citymapper, Google. So you've got to make sure that it's something that people genuinely feel and whether it's going to really help them with their day-to-day or their next step. So this is where I think you've got a real advantage, when you can start to think like an entrepreneur. And an entrepreneur doesn't just ask, what can I build? They ask, what problem am I noticing that other people are missing? And it doesn't need to be a huge problem. It doesn't need to be a world-changing problem. It can be something that's just start with something in your family household or at school, and a small problem like I did with Deal. And then that can then grow once you've tested it small. And then when you're building it and you've built your first prototype, watch what people do with it and listen to what people don't understand. And notice where they get really excited and where they get confused and think, oh, what's that button do? And where they drop off. And that's where the real work is. Not just building something really clever with all bells and whistles, but building something that survives contact with people. And it's so important when you build your first prototype to be able to take feedback and to listen to what your audience and the people that are trying your app think and say. So let's say you've got your first idea, but let's put it through the test before you start building it out in full. Don't say, oh, this is for students, or this is for parents, or, that's really quite broad. Say which students and really drill down. It could just be 16-year-olds who are in a certain area who are feeling lost and confused. And that's where the what moment are they in? And that's the feelings. So are they stuck? Are they confused? Are they scared, curious, bored, overwhelmed? Next one, why would they trust it? What makes it feel safe and honest and useful? Really importantly, what could go wrong? What could the app give it? Bad advice, bias, privacy, overconfidence, harm? So make sure that you really look at what you're building and think about what could go wrong. And then, which I've been mentioning throughout the presentation, what does it help them do next? Decide, practice, understand, ask. Does it get them to share? Does it get them to help them with their next steps? So before you build an AI project, put it through this test, because it's not the questions about what AI can do. The questions are, should it? Who is it for? Would they trust it? And is it helpful with their next steps? Okay, workshop time. Seem to be whizzing through this. How's everyone feeling? Anyone got any questions at this point? Or anything they didn't understand? Maybe have a little shakeout. Get ready for the next bit. Okay. So, workshop guidelines are keep an open mind. Don't be shy to share. There's no wrong answers, okay? It's just good to just talk these things through and respect other people's opinions and ideas, and we'll try and keep to time. Okay. So, who in the room is building something at the moment? Does anyone want to share what they're building in the chat? Winifred, is anyone there in the chat? Or thinking about building something? I'd love to hear what you're up to. Winifred, is anyone there, or are they all being shy?
Someone said AI chef.
AI.
So can you tell us what you're building?
Is someone coming through with their answers, what they're building? Okay. Okay. For the workshop, you can always just butt in and tell me what you're building, because I'd love to hear it. I'm sure you've got some great ideas out there. So for the workshop, choose your own AI idea or pick one of these. An AI career coach. Help teens who feel overwhelmed by future choices. An AI homework helper. Helps students understand concepts and not just copy answers. AI climate action coach. Helps young people turn climate anxiety into small actions. I love that one. And AI misinformation detector, another really useful idea, helps people check whether something online can be trusted. So either choose your own idea or one of these four, and then we're going to put them through the test and answer questions for each one of these. Which of these would you choose, Winifred?
AI misinformation detector.
Ah, okay. I'm expecting you to get involved with the workshop and answer these questions. So let's put it through the test. And here are just some answers. Here's some examples. So if we just spend, I don't know if you've got pen and paper or jot some things down. So you've chosen your one of your four to choose one of these. Has everyone chosen? Hands up. Yeah? Okay, great. Let's put it through the test. Who is this really for? So look at the AI tool that you've chosen and think about who it's really for. Not just students. Let's drill down into what type of student or what type of person it's for. And then what moment are they stuck in? How are they feeling at this time? How can we help nudge them forward? Why should they trust your app? Why should they trust what you've built? What are the things that make it feel safe and honest and useful? What could go wrong? Bad advice, biases, privacy, harm. And then how does it help them do something? How does it move them to the next step? By understanding a situation, or just getting them to start something, getting them to act on a project. So if we just spend 5 minutes thinking about this, here are the questions again. Which one are you doing again, Winifred? I think you're doing the misinformation detector. Yeah. So who's it for? I think my misinformation detector would be for my mum, who's like 70, and she's okay with AI. I mean, she's really good with ChatGPT, but how is she, she's London mum, not that tech savvy, maybe a little bit scared, probably overwhelmed. She trusts it because she didn't have to put any payment details in first, and it had good reviews. And she saw it written about in her favorite newspaper. Obviously, the one thing that could go wrong is that it tells you the distrusting information. It doesn't actually do what it says. And with privacy, I think it's important that you build an app and you just ask people for the least amount of information that you need. And next, what does it help her do next? Helps her, well, write the article that she wants to write on her Substack, because she's a big Substacker. I've lost track of time now. How's everyone getting on? Does anyone feel like they've answered the question for the topic that they've picked? So now if you've got your information, can you fill in this sentence? We are building an AI tool for a 75-year-old female mum of one who is overwhelmed with information, who needs to trust the information that she's given online so that she can write her articles for Substack. That's if you anyone out there would like to say what they've been building, what answer they've got, I'd love you to tell the room. And there's absolutely no wrong answers. Just be brave and just let us know what you're up to. Go on, Winifred, you start.
Okay, so for me, I would say I'm building an AI tool for curious, I would say curious people who do not like, so basically for healthcare, so curious people who do not like going to the hospitals to get answers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So they can get real validated validated information basically. And we have one on the chat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What are they saying? I can't see my chat anymore.
Yeah. So Norman says AI misinformation detector. Who is it for? Businesses, journalists. What moment are they in? They are in research for business and news. Why trust? Because it would take information from real people and double check it. What could go wrong? It could jump to conclusions and just not be working. They could jump to conclusions and those things won't work. What does it help them do next? It could help them keep building their businesses.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much. It's really well thought out. And, just in the 3 minutes that we've been online, it's just really good before you go racing into building your next tool or building the thing, to actually really give it some thought about why you're doing it. I mean, I built something the other day, which was, I've got a 10-year-old, and in this long summer holidays, so I built something that everyone, all our group, could say what was happening that day, and people could join. We're going swimming, and everyone could join the swimming for that day, and everyone would get an email rundown for the week about what activities were happening and who was doing what. And, I'm having a party at the house, 10 people can come, or, I'm going swimming, 2 people could come. And I built it and tested it, had loads of bugs, but anyway, sorted it out. And in the end, people still used WhatsApp. So I was like, typical. But it was 4 hours of my time. But I probably could have just asked everyone first on WhatsApp whether they'd have used the app or they just wanted to use WhatsApp. And they'd said WhatsApp. Is there anyone else who wants to share what they're building now, or how they think this process would help them clarify what they're building? Otherwise, I'll go to the next slide. Okay, well, I think you wanted to go to questions.
Yes. So everyone,
Yeah.
thank you so much, Calypso, for that. If you have questions, please kindly drop it. But we had some questions why registrations were going on. So I would just read that from here. So question number 1, what has been the biggest challenge of building a technology product?
Well, I built, through OffScript, we built an AI tool, which was a what's next, helping young people decide what careers and how they can find their next steps. And we built it, it was about, when did we start it? A year ago. And by the time we'd spent quite a lot of money and got halfway down the project, it was probably just as good to use ChatGPT. So there's quite a lot of money wasted, but it was good. We sort of got our heads around it. And then also a lot of the competition got quite fierce for what we were building, and people were doing it better. But that made me think that it's not about building the thing. It's about working out also whether anyone wants it before you spend all that money building the thing. So again, it comes back to, who is this for? What are they struggling with? And understanding the messy human bit of building rather than the technology bit. So just thinking about, is this just me with a really clever idea and me being really clever, or do people actually want it, and do they actually want to use it?
Okay.
That's the tricky bit.
Thank you. Question number 2 would be, what is something you wish you had known before starting your first AI or technology project? I think that's a really smart question.
I think when you're building anything, whether you're building an AI tool or you're building something in real life, it doesn't have to be perfect. You just got to build the thing, and it can be not perfect, but you just got to get it out there, and you've just got to show people in its smallest version, get it out in front of real people and get people using and see what happens. Getting a clear picture of the problem, because what you think might be the problem might not be what everyone else thinks is the problem. So rather than building more clever features, I've seen so many people build apps and tools, and they just keep building loads and loads and loads of features, and then find that people just wanted one really simple thing. So don't wait till anything's perfect, and just build the smallest version that's useful. and then listen to really carefully to what people say and what they want, and keep adding and keep building and just keep going.
All right, so just start first.
Just start. Yeah, start and show, because there's no point building something and keeping it under your mattress. You've got to show everyone.
Yeah. All right. Question number 3 is, how do you know if a problem is actually worth solving with AI?
Oh, okay. So you can ask, I suppose that's what my talk has been about. You ask 3 questions. Is this a real project, real problem, or just an interesting idea? Who has got this problem and how often do they have it? Is it a once a year problem, or is it continuous, every day? And also, does building an AI solution make it better? Or are we just adding AI because it sounds exciting? A bit like the project I said about building the app for my 10-year-old and all his little friends. I think I was just building it to be clever, not building it because everyone really needed it. They just wanted to use WhatsApp. So a problem's worth solving with AI when someone's genuinely struggling with it.
Okay, thank you for that. How can someone with limited technical skills start building an AI project that solves a real problem?
That's me, limited technical skills. But you've just got to really know your market. Who are you aiming this for? Make it really niche. And then write down one moment where they get stuck. A 16-year-old is trying to do their A-levels and they feel really overwhelmed. Or a student doesn't understand their homework, but does not want just to copy an answer. And then use a simple tool. You don't need to code everything from scratch. You can just use tools like ChatGPT. Often I do things on ChatGPT and then I'll put it into Claude because I prefer the way Claude designs. I use Lovable a lot. I tend to build things in ChatGPT and then move it over to Lovable. And then, and things like Google Forms or Notion. So all those no-code, vibe coding apps are great for making your first prototype. Claude Cowork is brilliant. I'm sure everyone here is excellent on Claude Cowork. Yeah, So you just need to prompt it and know who your audience is and start simple.
Okay, thank you so much for that. The next one would be, what skills should teenagers start learning now if they want to build useful AI products in the future? What are the skills they should start learning now?
I think notice spotting problems, asking good questions, being curious, and just keep on asking questions. I think sometimes when you're at school, you at some point along school journeys, you stop asking questions because you get fed a lot of information because you need to pass your exams. So you just learn things rather than using your own initiative. You don't need to wait for permission to start and don't need to wait for permission to ask lots of questions. Learn how to speak to users without leading them. I think that's really important so that you don't build bias into your products. And learn how to explain an idea really simply. And also be able to look at an idea and see where it can go wrong and how you're gonna solve that problem if that happens. And also you need to test, fail, improve, try again, and take feedback and be resilient. So I think the best AI builders in the future won't be the people that are the best coders or the best vibe coders, because so many people will be able to do that. It's the people that will be able to understand the humans and understand the messy bit about being human.
Okay, I think you spoke about something in this, but let me just ask the question again so that you can rephrase. What makes an AI product genuinely useful instead of just being a chatbot with a different name?
Makes it genuinely useful. What makes it genuine? I suppose it's if it's moving people to the next steps. If they keep on coming back to use it, how often they come back to it is, and if it moves people emotionally, I think that's important as well.
Okay, thank you. So the next is, have you ever had to Have you ever had to change direction because users told you they needed something different?
God, I've had to pivot with so many businesses. Um, so my experience gift company was, obviously you don't want to have a business where people have to congregate during COVID. So I did experiences and real life experiences, and the whole business was wiped out overnight, and no one searched experiences for years after that. So I had to pivot really quickly. We moved experiences online, and we also did at-home kits. So this isn't really to do with AI, but literally within a week, I realized I had to pivot my business or it was going to go down. And what's great about pivoting and doing these things, I get really excited. I love the challenge, because before the Institute was actually doing, it was doing well, and we were sort of pottering along and it was growing and it was great, but I was a bit bored. When I was really given the challenge to completely change the business and start afresh, it was really exciting again. But yeah, I had to listen. I had to listen to the world to keep the business alive, and then it gave us enough cash flow to keep it going. Other times I've pivoted. Yeah, I think it's really important when you have a business to know when to quit as well. And so many times I've had businesses that I've just kept going too long, and I've just kept flogging it, and no one really wanted it. The trends had changed, but I just kept going because it was my baby. And now I know that if no one's buying it and there's something wrong, I know to switch it up pretty quickly. But I didn't when I was younger.
Okay.
As an entrepreneur, you're really optimistic. So, you're like, oh, next week we're going to get this big order in, and this is going to happen, and this is going to happen. So sometimes you need a reality check, and maybe that's from your mum or from your audience, or but I mean, it's practice. You've got to build things and learn, and you'll learn more about yourself building a project and being an entrepreneur. You'll learn more about yourself in 3 months than you'll probably learn in 3 years at university. Not saying that university isn't great, but do both, because you'll just learn so much about yourself and where your skills lie.
Okay, thank you. Before I ask the next questions, please, everyone, if you have questions, kindly drop it on the chat. Norma, I think I see that you have a question. Please type it on the chat box and I'll read it out for you. Thank you. The next question is, what made you realize that off script was solving a real problem?
We did the first event, and we had 600 young people and parents come to 2 days of workshops and talks. And then I did a survey afterwards and talked to all the young people at the event, and it gave them hope and optimism about their future. And they'd arrived feeling lost and confused. And again, it comes back to feelings. We actually made a difference with how they felt, and they felt optimistic. So that gave them agency, and they took control of their own lives and their future next steps, which was so rewarding as a founder, that I knew we were on the right track and really believe in what we're building.
Okay.
So again, it was down to feelings. It was understanding the human.
Okay. So feelings, reveals, and yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Where did the original idea for off script come from?
So I sold my business. I've been doing it for 10 years, and I have a co-founder who's got a company called the How To Academy. He sold his business at the same time. And we were just talking, we wanted to do workshops for young people, we wanted to give back. I've always talked in schools about the entrepreneurial mindset. And we just felt that this was needed. And all my businesses have been very kind of current and trend led. Well, not trend, but of the moment. And I could just see this widening gap between what schools are teaching and what young people need to be ready to go into the workplace. And at the moment, I'm going to schools and I'm talking in schools, and they're not encouraging AI. Many of them are not in the UK. This is in the UK, because I know it's different in different countries. because they feel that young people are just going to use AI to do their homework, which, some are, but there's so many, using AI as a sparring partner, and it's just not encouraged at all. Even the teachers don't use note takers. I had to be totally lost without my note taker. There's this huge widening gap. So this is where I think OffScript is gonna help close that gap, and teams and AI help closing that gap. Just so needed.
Okay, thank you. So we have a question in the chat, which is it better when starting out to build projects locally, which he means not on the cloud, or to pay to host your project on websites? Also, do you think is the best way? What do you think is the best way to get lots of feedbacks?
I can probably help better with more with it. What was the second bit of the question? Feedback. Best way of getting feedback.
Yeah.
It's difficult, isn't it? Because feedback is, you send out lots of forms and you get people to fill in your forms, but it's difficult to get them to answer it truthfully, or only the people that fill in the forms are the ones that liked it. So you just got to really make sure that what you're asking is non-bias. And I think it's actually probably really useful to see people in real life using your app and watch them. Just see how they use it, look at their faces, see how they're reacting as they're using it. I think that's really helpful. So when we were testing the AI tool, I went to a trade fair, and there were thousands of young people there, and got them to test the tool while I was at the trade fair and had them walking past. I think that was really useful feedback. And you can see where people get stuck rather than just doing it all remotely. And then the other part of the question is about whether it should be in the cloud or locally. Someone that's more techie, I think, needs to answer that one.
Okay, thank you. The next question would be, what is the most interesting or unexpected AI project you have worked on? So what's the most interesting AI project?
The most interesting. Well, the most useful one was my What's on Deal, which is just small, but I built it. And now I'm like, if anyone wants the template, I'm happy to share that with any other towns. During COVID, I also built something called Deal Delivers. So within a week, the second day when we all thought everyone was getting locked down, but everything was still open, I ran around every shop in Deal and every market, and I got everyone's mobile numbers, because in Deal, tiny village, no one had websites. And I just had this feeling that everything was going to get locked down, and businesses and small businesses were all going to close. So I went around, I got everyone's phone numbers and I got everyone's details. And within a week, I built a website which showed where everyone was delivering. And after 2 weeks, some companies were delivering 100 deliveries a day, all because of this very simple app that I'd built and this Facebook group. And it literally saved businesses. And people who lost their income started businesses because I'd given them the platform to promote their work. So there was one woman who she'd lost all her income, but she was really good at making jam. So she used Deal Delivers to start her jam business. And that kept her going over COVID, kept her going mentally, because she had something to do and she had a purpose, and it also kept her financially. So that was actually the most useful and most interesting thing I brought. And I gave that website to 5 different towns, and they were all run by volunteers, and they did the same thing in their towns. So that was the most rewarding thing. It cost me money to do, but I ended up knowing everyone in Deal, and it was really rewarding, and I'm glad I did it.
Thank you. What changed about the idea between the first version of your project and what you built in the end?
What changed?
The idea.
I usually end up stripping things out rather than adding things. Like any entrepreneur, I get really overexcited, and I do the thing that I'm telling everyone not to do, is just build it with all the features and all the bells and whistles, and then find that no one uses it. So I strip stuff out and make it simpler. Less buttons, less things to look at, one product, keep everyone focused on the mission.
Okay. So this question is interesting. It says,
Oh no. Does interesting mean difficult?
no, 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 no. It's actually
Okay.
interesting. It's basically like a personal point of view. It says, are there any problems that you think AI should not be used to solve?
Oh, any problems that AI should not. You've got to keep a human in the loop. Like when, there's a lot, like with doctors, for example, you go in to see a doctor and there's AI tools now that doctors use that help with them, their note taking, it helps with the diagnosis and it helps with all that, which is absolutely brilliant. But sometimes you just need to look someone in the eye and you need to be felt and understood and held emotionally in those sorts of situations, which we need the human touch for that. Yeah. So
Okay.
I think we can all work along, alongside each other.
All right. How do you get people to trust and actually use a new AI tool?
Make it useful. And let me have a think. Wait a second. I think 1 second. Because I think you gave me this question before. So I can say something useful. What was it? Say it again. What was how do you make it useful?
How do you make people start using
Oh,
like a
people trust it.
yeah.
I think you need to, again, you need to really know your audience, really know your customer and make sure it's useful and that they're going to recommend it to people. And then you've got to think about how they're going to keep coming back, whether that's through nudges or, whether it's an everyday thing that they're going to need when they need it. It is tricky because we're just all so overwhelmed with different apps. And I think also if it's an app, you can partner with someone that is trusted and piggyback off their audience or collaborate with a company that's trusted. As long as your app does what it says and it's ethical and it's right, then people will want to share and talk about it.
Okay, the last question for the day would be, what happens when the AI makes mistake in a product that people rely on? So of course, from your point of view, what do you think? What happens?
Oh,
What they can do?
I think that's when you have to bring the human in the loop and you hands up. You're like, I'm really sorry this has happened. Didn't that just happen to Anthropic or someone's an AI agent went rogue and they've put their hands up and said, yeah, we're looking into this. We're stopping it immediately. You take action immediately and you're very open about what you're doing to rectify the issue. Public apologies go far. Don't try and cover it up.
All right, thank you. This has been an amazing session. I'm very sure we learned a lot. I learned a lot, so I'm very sure everyone here too learned a lot. Aya, do you have a question?
Yes, I was wondering after this session, what do you suggest I do to get started as an entrepreneur? Like my very first step.
Your very first step. Just got to build something and just get it out there. I don't know what are your plans? What are you planning on building?
Um, I was thinking something related to mental health, like a gamified experience, but I don't really know like how to get started and like the mindset I should have specifically, or do I just like go dive into it? That's it. There's nothing to think.
Well, I mean, you can look up things like lean canvas model, which just helps you build your business model on a very kind of, simple way. You can also, it's about your network as well. Like reach out to 3 people you admire on LinkedIn and ask them how they built what they built. Do your research. And then when you're confident in what you've built, then tell people. But just get started and just get started small so you build your confidence. And you just need to see that people want to use it. I mean, my first business that I did, I was 19 and it was a bag. And you put your own photos and you customize your own bag, Clippy Kit. And it had "Stop Me and Buy One" written across the bottom of it. And everyone in the street just came up to me and went, I want one of your bags. Would you get it? And it went viral before viral was a thing because there was barely the internet. So, as for that's how I started. I was an accidental entrepreneur. So you just need to make sure that someone wants your product and do your research and network and speak to lots of people. Get out your comfort zone.
Okay, got it. Thank you. That's amazing.
Thanks very much. Please join, find me on LinkedIn, find me on Instagram. I am Calypso Rose. Ask me any questions. I'm really happy to chat with everyone or share what you're building. I'd love to see it. And I love connecting people. And so, yeah, find me and let's chat to everyone in the room.
All right, thank you. Norma, I see you have your hands raised.
So by building, do you mean like building it with code or with AI?
Whatever you're comfortable with, just building, just creating something, not just consuming. So, you can start with, I think my first business was when I was 12 and I really loved pigs. So I made a magazine about pigs and sold 100 copies a month. And I was really passionate about it. And that's how I've created everything I've ever, I've been really passionate about something. I've really known that subject and I've created something around that subject. And that's what I've always done. Very difficult to build something or create something that you're not really super passionate about, especially when you start out.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Calypso. Thank you so much for this wonderful session. Before we wrap up, I would like to share some amazing opportunity for us to continue our learning journey with teens in AI. As a special thank you for being here today, you can enjoy 20% off any of those courses using the code Teens in Action August at a checkpoint. So you can just scan the barcode you can see on your screen, or visit our website at lens.teensinai.com to explore all the courses. We have new courses for you to learn, understanding robotics and using computer vision for crops. Also, join us in August 10th to 14th for our AI for Good Incubator. It's a 5 days bootcamp style program. You definitely do not want to miss that. And if you're 16 years and older, join our alumni community on LinkedIn using the QR code on the screen. Okay, thank you so much for everybody. Let's not forget, our mission is to empower the next generation of responsible AI leaders and innovators, and we need your passion and creativity to make that vision a reality. So stay curious, keep learning, and remember that the future is in your hands. Goodbye. Thank you again for the energy and participation. We look forward to seeing you in our future events, workshop, and our global teams in AI community. Until then, stay inspired, stay innovative, and have a wonderful day. Goodbye, everyone.